Okay, good afternoon, y'all. Sorry about the delay. Had the internet go out this morning and don't know why. All they said was that it was a DNS server error or something like that out of Florida. So who knows, but the whole area was down. So I'm out of my oil trades. I had 2 short positions. And let's take a look here. So DWT, I was in and out, won each time, and closed at 16.10. So it was a decent win. I would have closed earlier had I been online. And then CL for a small gain there. That was from overnight. Would have been a nice gain actually had I been online. But anyway, they're both wins, so that's nothing to sneeze at. Hey JD. Wow, allergies, crazy time. Of course, I spent the morning cleaning the house and playing with Monkey, waiting for my internet to come back up, chewing my nails. Chemicals, so CCJ. So this is the weekly chart. Stock RSI is pretty high. I'd be pretty cautious. I know there's a lot of bull pom-poms flying around today, from what I can tell. But do be cautious because the last time it was in this scenario was here, and you can see what happened. So, and each time there before. So caution. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to turn. It could turn, but each one of these is an earnings circle, and that's how long it's been going down, just to put it in perspective, right? So, not that you can't gain some profit in between here and that 200 if it actually gets to it, but that stock RSI is high. So, but the MACD is up, but your squeeze momentum is not turned up, not green. So I'd be very, very cautious. What that means is that the new buyers have come in, and shorts aren't squeezed at all. So there's no pressure in here. This is not some, anyway, I think you get the point. But, you might do fine. I'm just saying manage it. So that's CCJ, PDLI. It alarmed. So I'm going to take a quick look here and see what's going on, if there's any news. So this is the daily, up over its 100, up over its 20. It's well over its 200 and under its 50. Now its 50 is critical. Will it make it? I don't think it'll make it this round through that 50 at the height of that stock RSI. Not that a stock RSI can't stay up, especially in this sector. Like here, stock RSI was trending down, price was trending up, right? Really bullish signal. MACD was still going up, but stock RSI was coming down. That means the bulls are in it, and they're not leaving, and price is still going up, and it's getting squeezed, right? Squeeze momentum is going up while stock RSI is going down. You get that scenario, always go long, both hands, both feet, if you find that scenario. Could it happen again? Sure. Squeeze momentum is trending up. MACD is trending up. So that same scenario that's here could happen again. So just like I went back to CCJ in the history, this history is a different history with a stock RSI that's maxed. CCJ's history, MACD didn't continue, the squeeze momentum didn't continue, and price didn't continue up. So those are 2 different, totally different scenarios. Now, if price does get above the 50 and that 20 makes its way back around and breaches the upside of the 50 with price above, that's extremely bullish. So I would watch this one very close. So what I'm going to do is we're going to alert it. I'm not going to take the trade until it's over the 50 because I'm a chicken. There. Okay, so that's PDLI. Love it. Don't know if it'll follow through, but I love it. I love the chart history. Anytime you can see that. I'm just looking at a couple alerts here. I might short oil again here shortly. Okay. Now, MOMO. The alarm went off on this one. Obviously, the stock RSI. I would remain cautious. Let's just look at history. It's going to be hard to find the same history. I have to go way back for that. I'd be cautious because that MACD is not up yet. Now, you can bring it down to the hour. MACD is up. Squeeze momentum is up on the hour. You could trade it on the hour. It's got a decent range. I'd probably tighten it up a little bit here and see if you can. We're going to take this trade and get onto the 5 or the 15 and follow the stock RSI and the MACD, try and get them together at the bottom or as close to the bottom. Curl back up with the squeeze momentum and hit it if you were going to take that trade. As far as myself, gets past that 20, that might be a decent trade. So I'm just going to alert it past the 20, reassess it at that time. This is on the 4-hour chart. So I'll reassess it if it gets past the 20 there. I want to see it prove itself a bit. LPSN. I'd rather take the middle predictable part of the trade than the outside edges. Unless it's something that I really know, like oil, for example. I'll chew around the edges until I get on the right side of a big move. LPSN, so this one's interesting on the daily. It's held its 200 for whatever, 10 trading days. It's had some pretty crappy candles and still held it. Never touched it. Stock RSI has been up for about 8 of those days. It was a trending stock. IT services. So this one is probably going to come down to a natural support. One of these holding 1074, so it's almost. It's just not my favorite style. Although that stock RSI turning back up there with MACD and squeeze momentum. Those are all screaming bounce. What's the volume like? That's an issue. I'm not too sure what to say. It's a decent trade. You're probably going to get it. Oh, there it is. See, there's the natural support it's sitting on. I was wondering where it's sitting. That's it right there. So I guess what I'll do, because volume obviously increases once it proves, I'll just I'll let it come to me. I think the risk reward is extremely good. Last time it took off, it was in this area, so I'm alarming it there. I think it's going to repeat. And that's my plan, Stan. Netflix. Netflix on the weekly. So I don't know what natural support it could possibly be sitting on here, other than the top of another candle. On the weekly, it doesn't really make sense. Its indicators on the weekly are not good. January 17th. So on the daily, you can see what it's sitting on. If you had a MACD turn up on the daily, which would put you in a little late, but MACD crossing MACD, or you could examine it when the stock RSI turns up. Myself, I'm more inclined to let it prove itself and take the middle of that move on a bounce. XOMA. So here we go. Stock RSI is trending up. MACD is about to turn up, maybe. Squeeze momentum looked like it might get going, and we have price coming off. So if the opposite was happening, that would be really bullish. Price going up, the stock RSI coming down. I don't think this is going to get lift anytime soon. So what we're going to do is look at it when it crosses the 20. Reassess. I don't think it's going to get lift there. NVO. So this was one that I alerted a long time ago in its move. And I do believe I traded it for a very small profit and left it way early. MACD's crossing down. It's probably the alert one. All of these are starting to turn down. If anything, it's a short at this point. Now, is it going to bounce? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, right in the middle of this gap. That's funky. I think short term, it's a short. It was right in here. The sidewinder is where I was trading it, I think, if I remember right. But anyway, I think the same thing's going to happen. Exactly what happened here is going to happen here. So it got like where it is right now, just above the 20, say 43.71 to its bottom of 41.30, $2.50 maybe on a 51.50 stock. Yeah. So I'm going to look for the long on it because the short isn't going to give me what I want. So I'm going to look for the stock RSI, crossing stock RSI. It'll turn back up after that, but it'll probably come down to the 50 or even close to the 100. That's NVO. AAOI, I've got, other charting on it, a basic model built. I'm waiting for it to finish its consolidation or coiling through its fibs at its recent washout. So, it bounces up through its fib, it works its way back through a fib, up into a fib, and then it coils. So its mid-coil here is going to be somewhere around, it's 0.5 or 50%, which is technically not correct, but 0.5 is going to be in and around that 41 range, 42 range. Basically, it's low of the day today, probably 41.50 is kind of the mid coil or pivot. Its stock RSI is on its way down. Its MACD is, these are all saying it's at mid coil or its pivot in the fibs in its reconstruction. And normally what will happen here is soon you'll get a pop or a drop. Sometimes the MAs, the trade will wait for the MAs to catch up. And that could happen, where even the 200 has to make its way over and down, and, it could be a quarter or two away. I certainly hope not, because I want to trade out of this thing as soon as possible. I was hoping to get a pop much sooner. But we'll see what happens here. Okay, so that is AAOI. Now we go to the ones that were moving and shaking today. PXS up 115%. Looks like it was up 200% or so. Its historical chart says, what does it say? Lately, the last 4 or 5 trading days, TradingView's charting. This might have been when it first started, though. But anyway, I don't know what the news is, but I can almost guarantee you it just isn't a chart that I don't take those trades. I'm sure in a day trade maybe. ASTC, wow, what a nice short right there at the 200 on the daily. Crap, all the way down, same history, same blah, blah, blah. Sorry, but, now, could this be a bottom? Well, you're starting to get closer to that chance because of the double bottom, or however you want to see it. And, it's possible. Congrats to the longs, but not my circus. BGC, General Cable, trending stock, up over its 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, and into 6. So it's a short soon. Or, it's a short soon. Very few will make it past 5 or 6 legs. Did it hit natural resistance? Yes. So historical chart resistance, it's hit. Could it get up and go? Sure it could. Is the volume big there? Yes, it is. Is there maybe news? I don't know. A little bit of a sidewinder here, but I doubt it. My guess is it fails, and then it has to restructure and then go. DPW. So this is one of the blockchain type plays. It's a gap and go. It's a funky gap and go. There's nothing technically I can give you here. It's just crazy town. MTSL up over its 200. Looks like it's thinly traded. I've never traded it before. Yeah, 137,000 shares at 274 is nothing burger. I almost lost that amount in the last downdraft on Bitcoin. And that blog post is coming out yet, by the way. I'm waiting for replies from specific people who rocks I'm turning over there. We're doing a proper job on that. It is interesting, this gap here, isn't it? But, you know, just not my cup of tea. These are kind of depressing charts today. LMFA, so it's back on the board. LMFA. Well, that's too bad. That's a piece of junk too. The only thing this has really got going for it is it does have, there's different structures at bottoms that you watch for, and it's something I've never done any videos on. Eventually I'm going to do, hopefully before the end of January, before we start coding our algorithms, I'll get these videos, like real polished videos done. That's the goal. You know, so there's like drive-through 6-minute videos or whatever. Anyway, my point is, this does have a structure to it, but it's got a terrible past. So, you know, it's like dealing with somebody, a person that has, you know, recently, and their past just sucks. APRN, Blue Apron Holdings. I like this. So here again, this is a structured chart. It's a structured setup that, you know, I can't explain in short, but this particular setup with a newer issue that does this, and then this, I mean, it's got the potential, and we've seen it a number of times. Some significant lift. How do you trade it? Trade it on its MAs. So if you're not going to do it on the daily, you can bring it down on the 4, 2, or 1 hour and just trade the MAs in between. It hits the support of an MA, go long. It's the resistance next to MA, go short. And you just bounce in between. You can make a living just doing that on specific stocks. Of course, because I'm not trading full time, you don't see me really do that kind of thing, although I'm trying to line up a few of them right now. I really enjoy trading, so it's something I would love to be able to do more of here. EXAC, never traded it. Looks like it might be a thinner. Is it a thinner? Let's take a look here. Click the right button. Yeah, it's a thinner, thinly traded. It's a gap. I'm not sure if it'll go, but gap and goes are dangerous. Remember that. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you much. Unless, you know, you were trading in it and you needed me to really break it down. BLPH, I've been in this before. I've done well in it. I've never lost in it. It is interesting. I should have held because I was in back in here, I believe. I was in the bottom. Yep, I was. In here. They're a buck. So I would have done fairly well. I mean, it's 4 or 5 quarters later. You have to keep that into consideration. I knew this one was going to go the whole time. It was a conviction play for me. I just knew that the see, this is an example of a structured bottom, but I wasn't going to hang around for this. So it took, you know, it took a year or more to bull. That's the problem. And sure, the return looks great, but that's not so great when you consider a year or more. Anyway, what do you do now? It's up against historical chart resistance at about 280. So you haven't got a lot of room there, and I bet you it'll come off there, and then it'll probably continue its journey. And then you got this nice gap coming to 730. So, you know, what would you do? I personally, I would wait until that tests, and then it's coming out. So that would put it in 372, so almost, you know, 50% of where it is right now. But the problem is where you are right now, or you can wait for it to come back to That's what you could do. Just wait for it to come back to the 20. Why don't we do that? Then reassess it and bounces off an MA, take it. Because it'll probably get very viciously, well, like it is here now. 20 MA. I can't believe the messages I'm getting. Everybody just realized I'm back online, I guess. So that is going to alarm us. Happy style. MTSL looks like another thinly traded one. So this is our, this is our theme today, I guess. Crop stocks, thinly traded ones. There's a few good ones in there so far. Today is Monday, yes. Monday. Yeah, I missed Monday morning. That really pissed me off. If you ever get the opportunity to tell other folks to try not to message me right before market open or during middays, that'd be awesome. I should just shut my phone off, but I use it for different alerts and stuff. That's the problem. Okay, stop complaining. MTSL up against chart resistance, historical. Just a garbage chart. Just nothing good about this chart. It's garbage. Garbage. I mean, it's over its 200. That's the one positive, but the rest of it's garbage. This is over its 200 too. NXE. NXE, next gen. Oh yeah, next gen energy. There's such a probability, high probability, unusual probability of a bull trap setting up in energy right now that I'm just staying away from it unless I get just a dynamic, A+ trade to the north, to the bull side. I won't take it. I mean, oil, sure, I'll trade it both ways because I know oil very well. I know it more than it knows itself. CRNT. So I've traded this one a number of times. It's got good symmetry. It's bouncing through its MAs right now, up out of a nice support area from a chartist perspective. It's found resistance and support at the 100 on the daily. That's pretty sweet, actually, the way it traded in here. So it's trading technically. It may not look like it, but it is. Squeeze momentum just turned green today, and that stock RSI is healthy. That's not a bad chart, That's not a bad chart at all. Yeah, that's a good chart. Structurally, this is really sound here. So you bring that over here, and as long as it holds $1, what is that, $1.99, $2, this thing's a go. It's got decent symmetry. It's a decent chart, Interesting. It got shot down previously by that 200. It's probably going to get shot down by the 200 a few more times. I mean, it's probably going to end up its final bounce in this area, $1.37. Uh-oh, oil's in trouble. There's a whole lot of people on the wrong side of the boat in oil. Tried to tell them. But, hey, I wouldn't know anything about it. Okay, well, This one I'd be careful with, but I sure like the chart. If you traded this to the north bullish side, I'd say, yeah, good idea. As long bring it down on the 5 or the 15, 30 minute. Make sure it all sets up properly. And then just be really cautious on your stop because it's probably going to visit about $1.40 eventually. Once it gets to that 200, it's probably going to, so when it hits that 200, if it starts coming back down, it's a good short down to about that $1.40 area. But this is a clean chart and you get good ROI with it. That's what's nice about it. If you look at the symmetry. So it's actually a cool chart. Now, it also depends on what kind of mood you're in that day. Like if you can see things like the ROI in it, symmetry. But I see it here today. How's the liquidity? Lots of liquidity too. That's pretty cool, and it's post earnings. I like this a lot. So how do I tell myself I know? I shall that candle, hopefully that candle improves a bit. Oh, that was a great candle here. But you can look at that candle and boom, next day. Okay, so stock RSI. This is probably going to scream at me right after I finish putting it up, but let's see. Add alert. Stock RSI crossing stock RSI. I like this one a lot. Okay, so that's CRNT. This is one of those charts you have to look at close. And then it starts looking good. You're going to have a few drinks when you come back to it to make sure. BASI, trending stock, way over its MAs. Way extended. Just way gone. It's done it before. Why does it do that? What is it about this? Bioanalytical systems. I see, it's a penny stock. It's got low volume. Might be a low floater. I've never traded it, but I see why. Because people are trying to catch the bottom. And once you catch a move like that, it's hard to ignore them in the future. They're very addicting, but they're very hard to catch. Spend a lot of time trying to catch those. Yeah, anyway, I can't help you on this one. If you were going to trade it, I could help you. You'd have to bring it down to a tiny time frame and just be really cautious. But as it sits right now, that's well, I mean, it's short soon. I don't know if there's any borrows on it, but if I was going to do anything with it, I'd short it. But even that's not ready. So CASI, C-A-S-I, wow. So structurally, this is really bullish. This is the horns. They're not quite fully built out yet. Well, they are here. This is a bullish chart. It's too bad that 20 didn't get underneath that 50 and come back up. Stock RSI just turned back up. Post earnings, MACD, squeeze momentum. It's all trending. It's got the horns here. It's coming out of its set of horns here. It's got the horns on a wider time frame. That's one hell of a chart. It's divergent from this history. Okay, so here's where it did it before. through the 200, bowled up, failed out of that bowl. I caught a number of bowls in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, it hasn't even come back to the 200 here. So it's divergent. Look at this. That is cool. Wow, this is a screaming chart. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Oil's in trouble here, kids. 20 employees. Good Lord. We're going to have that many by February. March. Really interesting chart. There's something going on in this company. Let's see what it is. Breast cancer. This is all divergent. So when you see divergent activity to the bullish side, you normally kick yourself for not paying attention. Now, it's kind of done it before, but not the same. It's done it before a number of times. Can't believe how busy that phone is. It's divergent. Wow. That's a cool chart. So this is a day trading vehicle that if you did well, you could leave your profits and let it run. So when I'm trading full time, that's how I would handle this. So anything over 362 on any given day at market open, you would watch it, keep your time frame small, trade it on that small time frames, and then any of your profits move it around according to its daily. But anything over that is pretty strong. Huh. I'm trying to figure out how to set an alarm on this one. It's one of those ones you gotta, like if you're a trader and you're on top of stuff. Huh. I think I'm just gonna say, well, let's go for it over $4 on a day trading scheme. And Let's look at it at 375 on a day trading scheme. My suspicion is if I brought this chart down to the 5 minute, it's super smooth. Let's do it. Yeah. Reminds me of VRX. 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically perfect. Anywhere in 4 is actually not technically perfect. You get into 5 or 6, it's overextended. That's perfect steps. One, two, three, 4. Comes off. 1, 2, 3, 4 comes off. And then it got really bullish. It's hard to tell what they are here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it went straight up instead of coming off. Interesting. Oh, it did that because of its resistance. So that makes sense. So the bulls hit it through resistance and now it's got to restructure up here. Okay, well I got a few alarms on it. Huh. CASI. CVNA, there we go. We've been here before. So this one I've talked to you about before, I believe. So this is one of those structures that you just got to know is extremely powerful. It's a newer issue. It's got the structure of a serious bull breakout. And it's coming up its bull right now. Its extension is really high. That's the thing about this structure is that your extension is so high. See, this really should extend from there. I guess that kind of works, doesn't it? That's where it should be. Yeah, that works. Right. Came back to the 382 there. Failed down at 786. Yeah. Respecting its MAs. What is this CVNA? See, this is one big right ear sidewinder setting up. I mean, it's popping out of it right now. See that 20, how it came to 20, Never did get up and over and back down, but close enough. It created that pressure here. That popped out of the pressure. Now the next set of pressure, the next sideliner, like there's one on top of the other. That's really powerful structure. Very, very powerful structure. You ever see that again, don't ignore it. So now that I ignored it, learn from it, okay? Basement. God darn it, I wish I had the time to chase these down all the time. Just full-time trade. Soon. One day I will retire into it. So right now, these are your intradays. Yeah, that's probably it right there. Let's see. That might be it. So now, what would this actually possibly do is the question. Yeah, that's the structure. So its current extension. Let's pull back. So what did it get to here? Yeah. And then it's going to extend up here. So here's my guess. You're going to see it pull back to 1870. And then that 20 is going to meet it. And it's going to fire from 1870 to 2320. Now on its way to 2320, it might go through one more retracement here. I love this. I might even retrace a little more. But anyway, the point is, this is my setup for tomorrow. Let's see if it actually plays out. So what do we got to do to make sure? Got to save it and alarm it really quick. So alarm. This is good stuff. Because if it actually plays out the way I think it will, the return, your ROI will be fast. So there's a few good charts in here actually. I'm going to have to rewatch this video and do some homework. Yeah. Okay, so that one's ready. Oh, I better save it. CVNA. CVNA. tonight I've got some model homework to do, publish some videos. So I'm probably not going to get to these until the next night, or even the next. But at least I've got them alarmed. XNET. We know the story with XNET. So look at that. Wow, this could squeeze the daylights out of the short soon. But that's awesome. Right at the stock RSI and MACD turn. Yep. This stock RSI MACD turn didn't get them much, but this one did. So that's their limit right there. So that's support. That's the floor right there. So that floor is at 1181-ish. It could be lower, 1111. So that's your floor. So what's going to happen with this one? This is a nice setup too. This one is going to rip the faces off the short soon. Hard. So it took its extension. It retraced full. Well, it retraced actually and tried to jump. Retraced. Now it's at its pivot. Well, yeah, its pivot. It's right here, 1862. So it's just under its pivot. So it might retrace, you know, half-ish, depending in here, right? So it might retrace to like 15 bucks, and then it's bye-bye shorts. So that, yeah, and that concurs here. Stock RSI is coming down. Mind you, the MACD hasn't come down yet. But the shorts should be leaving soon. So how do you get the trade? Well, I'll align the stock RSI first, then assess the MACD at the time. This, because you're gonna get both of them. Try and get both of them lined up. But that's gonna be a decent trade. So that was XNET. CVNA, MOMO, MTSL, TYHT. Back on the board, eh? Thinly traded penny stock. That I mean, what am I going to say, right? It's just ebb and flow it. I mean, there's not much I can say about that one. Okay, FMI we've looked at before. There's nothing other than close your eyes, enter, close your eyes, set a stop and go. Let's look at the daily really quick. Yeah. those ones that have come off look kind of interesting. I'm not going to go through them, but a number of them do. Just me knowing the charts. I'm going to skim them real quick. Okay, it doesn't look like I'm going to end up in any of those anyway. Do you guys have any charts you want to take a look at? See, some of these aren't so bad that we looked at today. I was kind of discouraged at first, but CSIQ, I just don't believe in this company, but could try and take this on a bounce of the 200. I don't think it trades well. I don't like the company. I really don't like much about it. Yeah, I don't think any of those I would take. Sean, VRA. HIIQ's lost its 200. That's too bad. This trade's so structurally perfect with its MAs. Okay, well, let's look at VRA. Oil's trying to decide if it's going to dump again. It's kind of holding up. Yeah, so here's a good example of something that's starting to show structural bottom starting. So I betcha it gets its 200. The 20 will push it up through the 200. And it'll fail the 200 and it'll test its 100 or its 50 and then bounce and then it's into its bowl. I think it's just one more up and down and it's into its bowl structurally. But you never know, right? Like, because here it took it and it left. But it did come back. But it took a while. But it left. Had good lift. Had decent lift here. But this is kind of the thing I'm talking about. So how would I play it? I think you're totally on the right track. You just got to wait for that stock RSI to turn up. It'll probably turn up when that 20 is getting close to price. So they're going to meet in around 820. Yeah. Ish. 817, 820. And then boom, it's gonna leave town. I don't know how far it'll get, but yeah, you could wait for over the 200. In this case, I'd almost hit it when it bounces off the 20. That 20 is going to come and push it up through the 200 probably. But that stock RSI is going to be turned up. That's a decent play. It's a good one. I'm going to save this if you don't mind and work on this one. BRA. And then MOMO, it's alarmed there. Anyway, that's way. So I'm going to actually, you know what? I'll even alarm this one. Oh, it's got earnings coming. Missed that on the 6th. So on the 6th, we're probably going to either get the 200 or the 20. That's what's going to happen. So stock RSI crossing stock RSI. We have earnings coming up. So that's what's going to happen. That's on the 6th. So in 2 days. Cool. Good find. What was it that we were looking at? Oh yeah, MOMO. So it's there. So here we go. So the MACD's up. Stock RSI is up on the 240 on the 4-hour. And now it's just got to work its way through its MAs. So you can do it a number of different ways. Good margin in this, trading this. Yeah, so you can work it on different time frames. You just want to make sure that it sets up on the wider time frames, like your 4-hour, and it sets up all the way down, so you know where you're trading, and you start to take it off of your 1 hour, your 30, or your 15, or your 5, depending on your time frame you want to trade it under. But I like this a lot, where it is right now. Yep, I do. Huh. And that MACD's up on the 4-hour. Squeeze momentum's coming our way on the 4-hour. That's a wide time frame for a day trading vehicle. So it's just got to get over this resistance. So it's right at resistance right now. 27.20 is its next resistance. So horizontal line here. So that is the trade setup right there. So that's your first level, and then you got to just work your fibs. But I'm gonna probably day trade this. I may not today, but at latest tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna save it to remind myself. go through my charts tonight quick and prep for tomorrow. Chart patterns. And my alarm, just over high of day. Yep. Okay, so that's all I got, unless you guys got any you want me to look at or offer the team. And I'm going to get myself organized, and I got all kinds of homework to do this afternoon. I'll be in, but sorry about that. Yeah, I'll be doing homework. I don't know how much I'm going to trade this afternoon, but tomorrow looks like it's going to be an aggressive day. These were good charts, and my prep for tomorrow, I'm going to go through all of these charts, because there are some, I mean, there was a lot of junk to begin with, but there were 5, 6, 7 charts I want to look at. VRA, short interest, 25%. Cool, so I'm going to go through those. I don't think there's anything else, so we'll call that midday, and yeah, we'll see if we can get a trade this afternoon. If not, it looks like it's going to be a busy day tomorrow morning. Talk to you soon. Thanks.